Hey, welcome to Stand Up Leaders YouTube channel. I'm talking to you today about being conscious of your own self-talk. My name is Chris Baker, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this channel. That helps us get the messages out to more and more people. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the bell icon so that you get notified as these recordings are released each week. So again, my name is Chris Baker. I'm here with Stand Up Leaders. And today I'm going to talk to you about how you are cautious and conscious at the same time of what are the messages that you are saying to yourself. In other words, that's self-talk. Let me start by giving you an example. So this weekend, I played with a friend of mine in a member guest golf tournament at his golf club. And I don't play golf very regularly. I'm a really high handicap. And so we went into it and, you know, we wanted to have a good couple of days. And so the first 2 days, you play 5 9-hole matches. And if you win your match, you get points. And then you're in what we call flights, right? So 6 teams within those flights. We actually won our flight, which was amazing. All right. We felt great. We didn't go into it necessarily expecting to win that, but we did. We got a little trophy. We won some money. And then we went into the shootout. Now, in the shootout, you are playing against 6 other teams that have all won their flights. And so they've been playing well. They're good golfers. They're a lot better golfers than I am. And in the shootout, each person plays one shot, and that's what counts. So I knew going into it that if I made a bad shot, it was going to affect our team. Lo and behold, my first shot, chunked the shot, messed it up. The other thing there is you've got probably 50 to 100 people watching you. And I'm not used to playing in that. I'm used to talking in front of 100 people, but I know I'm confident in what I'm talking about. I know my subject. I know my topics. This was all about everybody watching me play an individual shot in a game that I'm not that competent at. And honestly, the pressure got to me. I chunked it. We ended up losing in the first shootout. Now, here's what I'm saying to you, right? I was down on myself after that. I was feeling that I'd let my partner down, that I embarrassed myself in front of those other people. My wife, Vicky, came to watch, and that's the first time she'd ever watched me. She just watched in the shootout, so saw me play a bad shot, and we were out. I was having those negative self-talk to myself, saying that I was like not good, that I'd let everybody down, let myself down, embarrass myself. And here's the thing. As I sat and thought about it, and this went on like all last night and then even this morning, and then this morning I'm sat there and thinking, Chris, you won your flight. You played 5 9-hole games and didn't lose a game. Right? In the last 2 9-hole games, we didn't even lose a hole. That's a tremendous achievement, right? And you should be proud of yourself for that. And so it set me thinking, like, how many of us will dwell on the thing that went wrong and we forget to celebrate the multiple things that went right? That was one bad shot compared to how many good shots that I hit over the previous 5 rounds or 2 days. So why do we remember that one bad thing? And how many of you out there are doing that? Again, put a note in the comments and let me know. Be honest with yourself, because that self-reflection is what's going to carry you forward. Now, again, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I set myself a goal of reading 12 personal development self-help books this year. And at the time of recording this, it's April the 6th, and I'm already on my 8th book. All right, so I'm well ahead. And so I started reading The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And this one point that I just want to share with you, it's about shifting your paradigm, shifting the way that you think about things, the way you analyze things, which sort of fits in with this topic that I'm talking about today. And I want to read an excerpt from this book that Stephen Covey shares, which is a real life example of when he was riding on a New York subway. It's a while ago, but it doesn't matter, right? He was on the subway. People were sitting quietly, some reading newspapers, some lost in thought, some resting with their eyes closed. It was a calm, peaceful scene. Can you imagine that? Can you picture that? Suddenly, a man and his children enter the subway car. The children were so loud and rambunctious that instantly the whole climate changed. Can you relate to that? You may have been in that situation, maybe not on a subway, but maybe in a restaurant, maybe in a line somewhere, or you've probably experienced that. The man sat down next to me. This is Stephen Covey writing this. The man sat down next to me and closed his eyes, apparently oblivious to the situation. The children were yelling back and forth, throwing things, even grabbing people's papers. It was very disturbing. And yet the man sitting next to me did nothing. Again, just stop and think at the moment. What are you thinking about this man and his children on this public transport? What is your initial thoughts and your initial reactions? Stephen Covey goes on to write, it was difficult not to feel irritated. I could not believe that he could be so insensitive as to let his children run wild like that and do nothing about it, taking no responsibility. It was easy to see that everyone else on the subway felt irritated too. So finally, with what I felt was unusual patience and restraint, I turned to him and said, "Sir, your children are really disturbing a lot of people. I wonder if you couldn't control them a little more." Now again, we'll pause for a moment. How many of you were thinking similar things? How many of you were thinking maybe stronger thoughts, stronger reactions? Be honest with yourself. So Stephen Covey goes on to write, the man lifted his gaze as if to come to a consciousness of the situation for the first time, and he said softly, "Oh, you're right. I guess I should do something about it. We just came from the hospital where their mother died about an hour ago. I don't know what to think, and I guess they don't know how to handle it either." Covey writes, can you imagine what I felt at that moment? Ask yourself that. How has that changed your perception, your mentality from the first initial description of what you were seeing? Now you get that extra information. How did that change? Covey writes, my paradigm shifted. Suddenly I saw things differently. And because I saw differently, I thought differently. I felt differently. I believed differently. My irritation vanished. I didn't have to worry about controlling my attitude or my behavior. My heart was filled with the man's pains. Feelings of sympathy and compassion flowed freely. Wow. Wow. Now, some of you may be looking and saying, well, that's a completely different situation to my event with the golf yesterday. But is it? You see, my paradigm, my thoughts was all about me, about feeling embarrassed, about letting my partner down, about thinking that I should have played a better shot at that time. Instead of thinking about what a wonderful 2 days we'd had, what camaraderie, what fun, all the people that I met out in the beautiful 90-degree Florida sunshine playing golf, what can be better than that? You see, it's the experience and it's the growth, it's the journey that counts. That individual shot was a moment in time. Am I going to let that define who I am? Or am I going to let myself be defined by the wonderful 2 days and that experience that I had? In that moment in time, I was letting that shot define me. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to change my paradigm. I'm going to think about all the good, and then I'm going to carry that forward. And you know what? I'm going to practice and I'm going to work on my game so that I try and minimize those chunk shots in the future. Will they happen? Of course they will. Now I'm talking about golf, but this could be life. It could be your personal life. It could be your professional life. It could be a job interview that you've worked so hard to get, and then when you get in the interview, you freeze. Or you do really well in the interview and you answer one question and you think, gosh, maybe I should have answered that differently. And maybe you don't get the job. But you know what? It's a learning experience. It's a learning opportunity. And I want you to take that. I want you to learn from that. I want you to change your paradigm and think about all the things that you do well, all the things that you're strong in. And then I want you to work on that. And that's what I'm going to do. So again, if you found value in this lesson today, click the thumbs up button to like this video. Put a comment in there. Let me know how you're thinking, or share some of your experiences to what you've had, so other people can learn from it and this community can grow together. Please share the video with other people so that we can spread the messages and let's really work on ourselves and continue to make 2025 our best year ever. I thank you for listening. My name is Chris Baker, and I'll see you on the next video.